Welcome back to Arjun's Journey, a story of dreams, determination, and transformation. In the first episode, we witnessed Arjun's humble beginnings in the slums of Agra and his burning desire to change his life. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to watch the first episode and follow Arjun's inspiring path from the very start. This series is an educational experience designed to help you improve your English. As you follow Arjun's story, you'll learn new vocabulary, phrases, and language skills that will boost your fluency. In this episode, we'll discover: how will Arjun overcome the challenges of learning in a crowded internet cafe? What new skills will he discover that could change his life forever? And will his determination be enough to carry him forward? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if Arjun's story inspires you and helps you in your English learning journey. Now, let's dive back into Arjun's world and see what the future holds for him. Episode 2: A New World, a New Challenge. Arjun's heart pounded with excitement as he entered the small internet cafe for his first computer class. The dimly lit room buzzed with the hum of old computers, and the air was filled with a mix of dust and the faint scent of electricity. It wasn't much, but to Arjun, it felt like stepping into a new world, one full of endless possibilities. Mr. Sharma greeted him with a warm smile, and Arjun felt a surge of gratitude toward this kind man who had opened a door to his dreams. "Welcome, Arjun," Mr. Sharma said, patting him on the back. "Today, we start with the basics, but remember, every great journey begins with a single step." Arjun nodded eagerly, his eyes wide with anticipation. As he sat down at one of the old computers, his hands trembled slightly. The keyboard felt unfamiliar, the screen intimidating, but his determination outweighed his fear. With Mr. Sharma's patient guidance, Arjun began to learn the basics of computing: how to type, how to navigate the internet, how to use simple programs. Each new skill was like unlocking a treasure chest, filling him with a sense of achievement he had never felt before. The days turned into weeks, and Arjun's confidence grew. He no longer fumbled with the keyboard or hesitated before clicking on an icon. Instead, he began to explore more complex topics, driven by an insatiable curiosity. Programming, web development words that once seemed foreign and unreachable now became part of his daily vocabulary. One evening, after class, Mr. Sharma pulled Arjun aside. "Arjun," he began, his voice gentle but firm, "you have a gift. I see a spark in you, a hunger to learn and grow. With hard work and determination, you can achieve great things." Arjun felt a lump rise in his throat. No one had ever spoken to him like this before, with such belief in his potential. "Thank you, sir," he managed to say, his voice thick with emotion. "I promise I will work hard. I won't let you down." The cyber cafe quickly became Arjun's second home. He spent every free moment there, soaking up knowledge like a sponge. The other children in the class began to look up to him, often asking for his help with their own struggles. Arjun was more than happy to assist them, grateful for the opportunity to share what he had learned. The sense of community and mutual support in the class only strengthened his resolve. Mr. Sharma's mentorship became a guiding light for Arjun. Whenever he faced a challenge, whether it was a difficult programming problem or a moment of self-doubt, Mr. Sharma was there with words of encouragement. "Remember, Arjun," he would say, "every mistake is a lesson. Don't be afraid to fail, because failure is just another step on the path to success." Months turned into years, and Arjun's skills grew beyond what he had ever imagined. He began building simple websites, experimenting with different designs and functions. He even started helping Mr. Sharma with some of the technical issues in the cafe, fixing bugs and troubleshooting problems. The pride in Mr. Sharma's eyes whenever Arjun solved a difficult problem fueled his determination to keep pushing forward. At home, his family noticed the change in him. Arjun was no longer the shy, uncertain boy who dreamed in silence. He had become a young man with a clear vision, a purpose that drove him to work tirelessly toward his goals. His brothers and sisters often gathered around him as he shared stories about his classes, their eyes wide with admiration and curiosity. One evening, as Arjun sat with his family, he looked around the small shack that had been his home for so long. The familiar sounds and smells, the clattering of dishes, the scent of spices, the laughter of his siblings were comforting, yet they also reminded him of how far he still had to go. But now, more than ever, he was certain that he could do it. He could leave the slums of Agra, he could study in the USA, and he could create a better life for his family. As he lay in bed that night, Arjun reflected on how much he had learned and grown. The road ahead was still long and filled with challenges, but he was no longer afraid. He had found his path, and he was ready to follow it, wherever it might lead. With Mr. Sharma's teachings and his family's love as his foundation, Arjun knew that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. And with that thought, he closed his eyes, filled with a sense of peace and determination that would carry him through the next chapter of his journey. As Arjun turned 18, a mixture of excitement and anxiety churned inside him. He knew it was time to take the next big step toward his dream. The thought of applying for a scholarship to study computer science in the USA filled him with both hope and dread. It was a daunting process, filled with forms, documents, and endless questions about his qualifications. But it was also his only chance to escape the life he had known and to create a better future for himself and his family. Each night, after his computer classes and chores, Arjun would sit at the small wooden table in his family's shack, illuminated by a single dim bulb. The room was quiet, save for the occasional creak of the old structure and the distant sounds of the city. Arjun's brow would furrow in concentration as he meticulously filled out application forms, his hand shaking slightly from the pressure he felt. He wanted this more than anything, but the fear of failure gnawed at him constantly. His mother, Meena, would often sit beside him, her presence a silent comfort. She would stroke his hair gently and say, "You're doing well, my son. I'm so proud of you." Her voice was soft, filled with love and encouragement, but also tinged with the silent worry that all mothers carry for their children. Arjun could see the lines of concern etched on her face, and it made his heart ache. He knew she believed in him, but he also knew the burden his dreams placed on their small family. Ravi, his father, would sometimes join them after returning from a long day of work. His rough hands, worn from years of labor, would clasp Arjun's shoulder in a gesture of quiet support. "This is your chance, Arjun," he would say, his voice deep and steady. "But remember, no matter what happens, we're proud of you. You've already achieved so much." Arjun would nod, swallowing the lump in his throat. The pressure was immense, but so was the love and support from his family. He was doing this for them as much as for himself. He wanted to lift them out of poverty, to give them a life of comfort and ease. But the thought of leaving them behind, of being thousands of miles away in a foreign land, filled him with a deep sense of unease. When the day finally came to submit the scholarship application, Arjun's hands trembled as he clicked the final button. The screen flashed with a confirmation message, but instead of relief, Arjun felt a wave of fear wash over him. What if he wasn't good enough? What if all his hard work amounted to nothing? The uncertainty was suffocating. The weeks that followed were a test of patience and resilience. Every day, Arjun would check his email with a mixture of hope and dread, his heart pounding as the page loaded. His family tried to keep his spirits up, but the waiting was agonizing. He felt like he was standing on the edge of a cliff, teetering between success and failure, with no way of knowing which way he would fall. Then, one evening, As he sat in the dim light of the shack, his email dinged with a new message. Arjun's breath caught in his throat as he opened it. His eyes scanned the text quickly, and then they stopped, frozen on a single word. Congratulations. For a moment, the world seemed to stand still. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. His hands began to shake uncontrollably, and tears welled up in his eyes. "Papa! Mama!" he shouted, his voice cracking with emotion. His family rushed to his side, concern etched on their faces. But when they saw the tears in his eyes and the smile on his face, their expressions changed to ones of joy and relief. "I got it," Arjun whispered, his voice trembling. "I got the scholarship." The room erupted in a mixture of laughter and tears. His mother hugged him tightly, her body shaking with sobs of happiness. "I knew you could do it, Arjun," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "I always knew." Ravi placed his hand on Arjun's shoulder, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "You've made us so proud, son. But remember, this is just the beginning. The journey ahead won't be easy." Arjun nodded, his heart swelling with both pride and trepidation. He knew his father was right. The scholarship was just the first step. The real challenge lay ahead, leaving his family, adapting to a new culture, and succeeding in a foreign land. But as he looked at the faces of the people he loved most, he felt a renewed sense of determination. He would make them proud. He would not let their sacrifices be in vain. That night, as he lay in bed, Arjun couldn't sleep. His mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. He was excited about the future, but also scared of the unknown. He knew that leaving Agra would be the hardest thing he had ever done, but he also knew it was necessary. His dreams demanded it, and so did his family's future. With a deep breath, Arjun closed his eyes and whispered a silent promise to himself and to his family. "I will succeed. I will make you proud. I will return to you, stronger and wiser, and I will give you the life you deserve." And with that, he drifted off to sleep, his heart filled with a mix of hope, fear, and unwavering determination. As Arjun's journey continues, will he be able to adapt to life in a new country? And what new challenges will test his resolve? Stay tuned for the next episode, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to follow every step of Arjun's incredible adventure.